I'm the medical coordinator for the Ochre Medical Center in Jamison. I've been with the clinic since 2014. I came as a registrar, stayed on. I would recommend doctors consider Ochre or selling to Ochre, especially for people who may be struggling with the practice ownership side or who have discovered that maybe it's not what they thought it would be like, because it allows me to be a doctor and do what I trained to and want to do. It was everything that I signed on the contract. I'm really happy that that was actually honored. There has been support with other things like with care plans, with streamlining it and bringing in the infrastructure like best practice, which we really should have done years ago. All of that has really helped. Then the investment in the equipment as well has finally gotten systems that talk to each other. So there are a lot of benefits from a doctor point of view. A lot of the things that led me here were actually not active decisions. I never planned to come to Australia, I never planned to become a GP, never planned to move out to the country, but here I am. I always thought that general practice was too hard, but I discovered that I liked talking to people and getting to know them and getting to know families across the generations. That's also why I've stayed in the country where the community is close-knit. It gives me context, it gives me an idea about why people are the way that they are. I get to give them the kind of medicine that I want to do. My patient base is a real mixture. I've inherited a lot of older patients, but I do see a lot of young families as well. I see a lot of people with mental health conditions, mostly anxiety, depression, trauma-based stuff. Basically, I help them with perspective, some techniques. Sometimes we go through medication, but a lot of them is working through and helping them understand why they're upset and what's causing them to feel like that. I was surprised with how easily I settled into Warrnambool. Being from a foreign country and not necessarily looking like the average person that lives here, I was slightly hesitant, but people have really just taken it in their stride. Most people will find that they'll be able to do pretty much whatever they like here. We're connected by train, by highway to Melbourne, but the pace is still slower than the cities. I've lived in Australia literally half my life and all of my adult life. I still see that there are certain cultural differences that I actually have found that actually helps me in my practice. By coming in as the foreigner, saying that, oh, I grew up somewhere else, can you tell me a little bit more about your experience? People sort of pause, and I find that that serves as a way of getting in and helping them understand themselves. There was no hesitation with the thought of practicing in Australia rather than Malaysia. I think that the work-life balance is much more reasonable here. And I think that the collegial aspect and support that we get here is actually a lot better here. And I think that it's less hierarchical than it is back in Malaysia. I think that you do need to want to be a GP in all ways. The work-life balance, the remuneration can be very good, but I think that you also need to consider the kind of medicine you want to do. We are the specialists in people's lives, and that has to be your number one attraction. I had a young mother who came in with lumps in her neck, and I knew it wasn't going to go well. All the tests that we were doing came back benign, inconclusive, nothing wrong. But balancing the fear of the unknown with her, but also trying to get things done without worrying her too much. In the end, she did end up having lymphoma, and we got her through it. She is living very well. Not long after that, she brought her son in, the most important person in her life, and said, I trust you. And that sank in that what I do is important and it does matter. The responsibility, more that than the burden, that I can make a difference. I don't think that I change the world. I know that I don't do that, but My role isn't to do that. My role is to help people so that they can go on to do that. That's how I view myself, as a support person in people's lives rather than the main character.